This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission to 50.
All right, guys, we're off list again. Welcome to Mission 250
I like
Filmcast.
off list.
Yeah.
Off list has turned out to be more fun.
Yeah, off list is pretty great, and I think we're going to continue doing it more and more, seeing as we only have, 15 movies left on the list?
Right, exactly.
So this movie could have been pushed off to October because this week we're watching kind of a scary movie, guys.
Totally true.
It's kind of a horror movie, you might call it that. We're watching Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. This movie came out a few weeks ago and dethroned Deadpool versus whatever it's called.
Wolverine.
Deadpool, Wolverine, not versus, but
Wolverine.
yeah. But as of last weekend, undethroned
Oh.
because it dropped further. So kind of a quick dip, and Wolverine's still making a lot of money.
Still,
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Wolverine
it
was
does.
number one last weekend.
Oh,
so-
yeah. That all checks out.
Yeah.
That all checks out.
But I saw this opening night and I texted you guys, hey, even if we don't do it for the podcast, you should go see it. And you guys were like, fuck that, let's do it for the podcast. So if you didn't like it, it's on you. So let's go to the 20-second
All right.
spoiler-free
Oh, shit, I don't have it now.
reviews. Oh, we don't have the timer.
All right.
We switched to Google
That's
Meet
right.
because Zoom doesn't work anymore, everyone.
Right,
Zoom
exactly.
fucks with
so
Logic
we're gonna
Audio.
we're gonna go old school, and I'll just say you're up.
You're up.
All right, 1 second. All right, ready?
I'll go first.
All right, ready?
since I
1,
pushed
2,
this.
3, go.
Go. So this movie is a lot more like the first Alien movie than the rest of them. It is like a straight out horror movie, and the director is a horror movie director, and it's a pretty perfect fit for it. You know, it kind of overdoes some of the homages to the older movies, but as a theater horror movie experience, it was awesome. I thought.
18 seconds.
Nice.
John, you want to go next?
Sure.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, very enjoyable horror movie. Some really good special effects, really good science fiction scenes, kind of crappy dialogue and character stuff, and some really bad, kind of not so great stuff towards the end. But still, I found it really enjoyable as a horror movie.
15
Agreed.
seconds. Good job, Johnny.
Yeah.
Nice and concise.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Holy shit, this was a good movie.
Yeah.
I was like blown away. And honestly, it scared me so many times. I jumped scared. I had my arm up in the air behind my head, making that like face when you're like, no, yes, no. So
Nice.
this was a fantastic one.
Awesome.
1997.
Very
All
good.
right.
Now we're getting into spoilers because I think there actually is some spoilers.
Oh,
in this
definitely.
movie.
Yeah.
Because like the
Yeah.
last 20 minutes are off the wall bananas.
Yeah.
Like I did
Yeah,
not
they
expect it to go in the
Nope.
direction it went.
Me
And
either.
you, looking back at it, it's like, well, you should have expected it because these movies always have that like it's not dead yet sort of
Right,
thing.
right. Well,
But
you
this
got to
one was-
somehow escalate it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I felt like they hit it. They hit it well.
They hit
Because
it
I
so
wasn't.
well.
They
And
did.
It was disgusting. It was frightening. That creature at the end. The
I know.
we're just jumping
The
straight
big,
to
tall
Oh, okay.
thing.
the tall thing.
I wasn't as scared, but I wanted to be more scared by it.
I was creeped out.
I was
man.
creeped out by it
Yeah.
too.
I
I was
was.
especially creeped out by the fact that like there was that one scene. So like she births this thing and she like goes into her shirt, and this is the most disgusting part of the movie. She goes to her breast and pulls out oily shit, like she's
Right, right.
leaking oily shit
Right,
from.
because
like she's gonna feed.
yeah.
Right.
She's gonna nurse
Right.
it,
That's
and then
pretty
there's the
nasty.
shot of the alien with the extra tongue with the mouth on it
Yep.
going down to her chest, and it makes you think that he's gonna feed,
Which he
from
does,
her,
sort of
which
like
Yep.
is the most one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
it was pretty
in a
nasty.
movie.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That
Yeah, and
actress,
it made you think about it, which kind of pissed me off, but in a good way. It's like, damn you put the idea there, and I'm the one who has to make the connection. Fuck
Yeah.
you for putting this.
And
in
I don't
my
know
head.
if I made that connection at the time, but it did once I saw the baby. Obviously,
Yeah,
you know, like it didn't hit me right away, and then
Yeah.
later it hit me that oh my god, that's Jesus. This is. And they did a good job setting it up because they gave us a little bit of a you know, like she's pregnant, but like they let it hang in the air for us until we got to that part where
Right.
you realize that she's on the fucking ship with the goddamn alien.
Yeah.
You know? So, man, that was a good movie.
it was.
I'll tell you.
so intense.
Oh, God. And the sound, fantastic.
Yep.
The visuals, amazing. There's just something cool about space when you know they just get to do stuff in like film effects, practical
Right,
stuff, wire work, movements, you know, green screen where really playing around with the visuals and the fact I loved that scene where the acid was floating around in circles and they're
So
trying to
cool.
navigate through it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was kind of hilarious. There's like that one, some of the dialogue, like John said, was kind of stupid. There's a bunch of spinning acid in like a gravityless chamber, and she turns to Andy and goes, "Be careful."
Right. I know.
like a,
no
like
shit.
a straight
Really
Nicolas
good.
Cage line is what that was.
Yeah, it's not fair if you compare it to Alien in certain in a lot of things. Like,
No.
But it was kind of more fun. It was more like a ride.
If you
it
go,
was like
exactly.
not serious all the way
If you
through.
go after this, like, this is a really good action horror film, and don't
And it's fun.
put it up to that. Yeah, don't put
It's
it
not
up to
full
like
dread. There's
right.
even there's the scene where they're walking through, they talk about there's a room full of the face huggers, and they're like, "All right, guys, everybody has to stay calm and everyone has to be quiet." And they get
Right.
halfway through it, and the guy's like, "Hold on, everyone, I got to take this phone call.
Right.
It's really
I
important that I
know.
take this phone
I
call
know.
right now."
And I'm going to
Everyone's
sweat.
like, "No, you
no,
idiots."
what are you doing?
But that's all. It's kind of stupid, but also
I
kind of
loved
fun.
that line where he at the end where the door almost closes and he's like, "Actually, I just timed it perfect. I'm
Yeah.
getting better." I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
He was
get him."
actually he was Andy the
Andy was the best
android
by
was-
far.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
one of the
Like,
best.
he
Yeah,
was so good.
absolutely.
He had more, like, again, really liked the film and
His
enjoyed
facial
it.
expressions
but he
seemed
had-
like a
robot
yeah, the rest of the
expressions.
characters really didn't seem to have much depth, other than
Agreed.
they're just going to be scared. You know, there's very little to them. But Andy had, he was interesting, and him fighting were his personality and changing his personality based on he did it really well. And yeah, so it was really interesting. It's the way he decided to, like you said, the affect, the way he would say things, like, was great. It was like kind of,
And just the
like-
way he would like move his face back to the same position like a
Yeah.
robot would.
Right,
Like
right.
his
Yep,
face would be like in a weird
totally.
smile, and then he would like say something, but
Yep.
then his face would go right back to the same thing. And you're like,
Yeah, it was neat.
Damn, this is convincing
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
I agree.
He was great. He was fantastic. And his dialogue was good for a robot. I mean, it just
Well, yeah,
that
yeah,
was like
yeah.
where the dialogue worked out well,
Right.
Because they're using like robotic
Well, and I don't
dialogue,
even know,
and for
like-
him, it's perfect.
Yeah,
But for the
yeah.
rest, it's kind of like that fell flat. But
Yeah,
you know,
some-
they did a good job. Some of those kids being scared,
Yeah.
flopping around.
That was the most important thing, and
Holy
they did
shit.
that. Yeah,
Dude,
you're right.
They
You're-
did
you're
that
right. They
well.
they totally did that well. I think it's just, and I don't know if they just didn't do many takes or whatever, but sometimes lines just didn't work at all. Like there's
Like what?
There's like, she says, the lead character, one she has this line, "Andy, are you there?" Where she's trying to ask.
Oh yeah, that
It was-
John.
it was
when
just
I was in
like-
the theater,
it was
that
like-
was the only part of the movie I was like, "Ow!"
It was like
that hurt.
thunk,
that
right?
kind of hurt. Yeah, it's especially because like they cut to her and he like walked out of the room and it zooms in on her face.
Right. Like, this
She's
is supposed to be a
"Andy,
big line,
are
you know?"
there? And you're like, "Holy shit, that's so."
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
real
that did
clunker of
stand
a
out.
line, right? And I know that they're going after, die bitch. That one didn't kind of land too much. I
That
know it
got the
was
theater.
kinda-
Were you in the theater by yourself, John?
Yeah. Oh
Vic-
yeah. Oh yeah.
You were
Totally. Yeah.
totally by yourself.
I guess it'd
that
be good to see
seems
it with the
odd
crowd.
because I had some people reacting and I could
Yeah,
hear them.
that would help.
People laughed at the
definitely
bitch thing.
helps.
Yeah, yeah.
The way he stuttered over it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think that would have helped. Again, this is it's a great like horror movie film, and one to see in the
was.
theater and see it with an audience. And so I envy you being there on opening night too with a crowd. That's pretty cool.
That's the way I always got to go. Even if
I
it's
know.
bad, it's worth it for the good one, right? This
Yeah.
is right now. This is by far the best horror movie I've seen this year.
I mean, honestly, guys, I was thinking about it, and as far as like, you know how I get with movies, for the experience that I had, I was willing to chalk it up as one of the best movies of the year because I had such a good movie experience where I was along for the ride.
Yep.
I was like enthralled in the story, even though it wasn't much. It was still enough variables
right.
going on that you just didn't know what was coming next, and you knew it was going to be creepy. And the more they showed the monsters and the aliens, the more you got scared.
Right. That's
And
like the opposite of what happens in a lot of horror movies where they overshow the monster and you're like, it's not scary anymore because it doesn't look scary.
No,
it's
it's
not
just-
threatening.
The,
In this
the
one,
more
it's
they
like,
multiply, the more you're like, fuck, this
Yeah.
is getting worse and worse and worse. There's no way to stop this, right? I mean,
they
Yeah.
leaned into it. They did like new things with the deaths and stuff.
Yep.
Like
Again,
some of the deaths, like when the guy gets stabbed in the eye and then lays down in the acid and he's like, I'm dying. And you're like, get out of the way.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
he's
the
just
acid.
letting him be, yeah,
Shit.
yeah, right.
Again,
And
best,
it's just
best
going
you-
through him.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, why are you still sitting there?
get up and move, you idiot.
Yeah. Oh man.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, looks great, pretty scary.
Yep.
And
It
then,
did.
the, the reaction of the person trying to escape that situation that was still alive was believable. Like the person seemed panicked.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that happened
they sure did.
frequently. The scene where that one girl was like on the other side of the glass and it was the two people and the android on the opposite side, and they were trying to convince the android to open it.
Right.
That scene was
again really well done. You're
really
totally
good
right.
acting there.
Yeah, the acting was really good when they were doing that. It's just
when there was no plot to be done, when they were just in a scary situation.
Yeah, when they were just
right.
reacting and freaking out, they did it fucking great.
Yeah.
And then when they had to say a line, it was like, just go back to flopping around.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right. Yeah,
But
They had to get us from chamber to chamber inside.
right.
what do you
ship,
think
know?
about the sentient or the original guy? That was great. That was
You
a
thought
great
so?
little
I thought that
twist.
was questionable. It was
No?
obviously like CG face.
right. Well, they made it
Oh,
to look
well,
like they made it to look
yes.
a little like Ian Holm, who
A
played,
little? It was Ian
it
Holm.
was
They
basically
resurrected
Ian
him
Holm.
from the dead.
Yeah, which is weird. Wait, why
People
you don't need to do
are
that.
mad that they resurrected him without, I don't know if they got permission or not, but it's
Hopefully
kind of
he
like
gets
he's
some
dead.
royalties.
So
but I know maybe his family gets royalty. I don't know, but
maybe.
whatever.
I don't necessarily have a problem with that because I'm not an actor, but
It just, whatever.
I don't know. It just looked like
Well,
a CG.
here's a
weird,
perspective.
is all.
Had no idea he was dead, so I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
You just thought
And
he was de-aged?
I bet you that would be most people that see it, right? They
Yeah.
have no clue who he is anymore.
I guess
So
it
they,
helped that he was cut in half the whole time, so he already was pretty weird looking anyway. So it did.
True.
It wasn't like he was there walking around or anything. So he was already.
Did you
pretty
guys
messed
jump
up.
when he grabbed her hand? Because I did.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Maybe
jumped
jump.
so many times watching this. I can't even remember
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
I know when she first goes to take his thing out of his ear and then he
Oh,
grabs
yeah,
her
yeah,
by the
yeah.
arm,
Yep,
dude.
yep.
That
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me. I jumped out of my chair. And thank God the Skittles were in the cup holder because they would have been everywhere.
You hear
at that
Skittles
point.
rolling down the entire theater.
No, it would have been the next, and of course the place would have went quiet right then, and then the Skittles would have hit. Click, 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 click. Oh man, I jumped so far out of my chair on that one, and then there was just some of those other ones when the alien reveals himself through like a crack, and some of those ones in the dark. Where they were like you couldn't really see it, and then all of a sudden, little movement in the back, and then you realized how big it was, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck!" And, it just there was, I think the IMAX makes it a lot better too.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you see it in those big theaters like that, it is fucking something else.
It is, and especially almost all of the special effects in this movie, or way more than half, were all practical. Like all the sets were real, all of the aliens were real, save for some very small exceptions. Like even the guy at the end, the offspring alien was what they call him, the human one, was a dude. It was like a 7'7" European basketball player they put in a suit.
Cool.
Who's like super
Whoa.
skinny and tall. So that was real too. So I think that really adds a lot. Like even when they're doing like some of the special effects stuff, they have the virtual production screens with miniatures behind them. And just even watching the behind the scenes stuff on this, it looks pretty real. Even like you're looking at a screen, but like the fact that the space is behind the actual object you're focusing on,
Right.
it's so much better than just making it all on a computer.
Oh, it is. It is. And I mean, there's a lot more planning involved, but
Right.
it's great to be able to have.
But isn't it
practical
cheaper? This movie
things in
was $80
front?
million for
Yeah.
a budget.
Oh,
And
way
you
cheaper.
look at like Marvel for $200 million. This looks so much better than
Right.
any
And
Marvel
that's
movie
the
I've seen.
future.
You don't have, you
It's
don't have
the
any big
future,
name actors
right?
here. So I think that also. I mean,
Well, that's true.
I mean,
And you have a director that has a lot of time because this is the first time he's worked in since 2019, and he's a super nerd, so he's kind of got like a Peter Jackson thing going on, like the Lord of the Rings, where he basically on set, every day would be comparing the shot he was taking to a similar shot he was going for from one of the other Alien movies, and he wanted to kind of replicate it, but not steal it necessarily. He would steal it every once in a while, but like he just knew every single shot of every scene of all the Alien movies, and he's a huge fan of all of them. So he's like, and he's a good horror movie director. So like combination,
right? Because
pretty friggin' perfect.
It all worked out.
He did the Evil Dead remake, right? And you like that, right?
That movie was great.
Although you told me some things
Loved
about it that made me
movie.
not want to watch it.
There's a couple scenes that are hard to watch, but it's a pretty fantastic remake. And then he did Don't Breathe, which was pretty good in quality, but like there's a scene in that one too where like it kind of made me sick, and I don't want to watch it again. So that's a good thing, though. That's what you want in horror. You want the scenes that'll stick with you forever.
Right, that's fair.
You'll never forget them.
He cares about it a lot
holy
too.
shit.
Like he really,
true.
This is like he really cares about it. That's really cool. That comes across. I mean, the shots, the practical effect shots. Like I was. It's kind of a bummer in a way as it goes on, but the opening scenes were so awesome to me. Like that, it's just so dark and quiet.
It's like Blade Runner.
Yeah,
you're talking about like in the little mining village and stuff.
Or in the mining village, but then even when they're showing how they find the Nostromo remains in that ship, it's all dark there, and then it puts the lights on the very, very beginning there, even before we get into the mining colony.
Oh yeah.
It's so well done and just kind of quiet and scary for the most part. It's and it just looks really, really fucking good. But even I really loved it too, even when the detail that they would do with these shots that seem so well planned, like when the shuttle like is out of control and it's about to spin into the hangar and it's going by the space station and you see the lights play through
inside.
each of the window.
Yeah, I know.
That was
great.
It was awesome. I mean, and
Wasn't it?
again, yeah, the special effects here were just great. I mean, I know some of them were certainly CGI but
Some of the best special effects I've ever seen.
but it's really good.
I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
it's really fucking good. Like the way that as the space station's getting like disintegrated by the rings. I mean, those
are the best parts.
That-
When
that
you get to
was-
see
yeah, that was
inside the ship
absolutely
where the
the
ring is
best
just
parts.
blowing by
Yeah.
it and at an angle. Holy shit, that
It
was
was-
amazing.
And what a stakes, right?
Right.
They had to have hanging over their head
Yep.
the entire trip.
Right. They're setting
the
up
entire
it's a
journey.
good call out too, right? They're putting this
Yeah.
like overall tension over everything on top of everything else that they've got.
I
you
got
know,
so
and
excited when they're like T-minus 30 minutes. I'm like, fuck, yes.
Yeah,
Things
right.
are going to, like, it's already kind of
It's gonna
scary.
start counting
and
down.
it just cranked it up.
Yeah.
It was smart. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking the same thing too because it was like hours at first, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is going to play out for a while, right?"
Right.
But then it's like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, there must not be much movie left here."
Yeah.
Yeah, there was plenty.
It was good.
I thought the same thing
Yeah.
too. I was like, wow, this is going to be a tight little movie here because I feel like there's a lot left to go.
Yeah.
But then they had that part afterwards with the friggin' offspring, which is such a nice little coda
guy man
at the end.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome.
By the way, the pregnant girl, what was her name? Did you guys ever see Dora in the Lost City of Gold?
No. Is that a
No.
cartoon?
Not having kids.
Is that a kids movie?
It's a kids movie where it's like Dora.
I love Nickelodeon TV show movies.
But it's a movie. It was a movie where Dora is kind of.
That's what I'm saying. A
young
Nickelodeon
teenager.
TV show turned into a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my favorite.
She was Dora in the Lost City of
I'll be
Gold.
damned.
So it's a little.
but not in the TV show?
No. This is the movie that was
They
showing
recast
older
Dora?
Dora was a.
I have to imagine there was an uproar when that happened.
Denny. Dora was a cartoon until the
Is
movie.
this not a cartoon?
No, the movie.
Oh, it's a
was
live action.
The live action Dora. Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway,
Did you
You
see the
probably said that
Mufasa
4
live
times.
action trailer? That's going to be cool.
the what live action
what
for
one?
what?
The Lion King prequel, Mufasa.
Oh no.
Oh,
I didn't know
yeah,
about
baby.
that. All right.
It's
I don't like that.
It's a live action.
I never saw.
basically-
Did you see the live action Lion
prequel.
King? I didn't.
No,
Everyone
I
else did,
didn't,
though,
but-
apparently.
I didn't, but it looked kind of cool, I guess, because I loved Lion King, but then I didn't want it to ruin it. Now we get to go to another movie with live action, and it won't ruin it because it's different. But
doesn't
yeah,
exist.
Prequel.
it's all of a Mufasa story and Scar as well as kids and as buddies, as
Oh.
brothers.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting. It sort of sets you up for not going to be happy because you know how it all is going to end for both of them. But
right.
We
But
get to
maybe
see
it won't
Mufasa
end at
scratch his
Simba.
brother in the face.
Maybe we'll get to see him put Simba up again. That was right. But
That'll be the
Kishi
end.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Rakishi or whatever the fuck it was.
Rafiki?
Rafiki, there you
There
go.
you go.
See, Denny does like a good cartoon movie.
I like Disney. I like old Disney. Why not?
Yeah. Well,
I did thought there was a couple times throughout the movie that I thought the people who made this movie knew that these rings looked really good because they lingered a couple of shots. They're just like, guys,
Yeah.
check out these fucking rings.
Right,
Let's
and-
take a breather and look
I
at these
know,
rings
I
here
know.
for a
totally
minute.
fine with it too. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you're right. You're right.
There was one
Let's-
shot that like panned out the window and just looked at the rings for like no reason. I was like, this is great.
this is great.
You can do this.
And it looks so just massive
Yep.
in the theater. I thought they did a great job of capturing space in this one
Yeah.
without us being like in what's it called, Space Odyssey, where they let you hang on it forever, which I didn't mind for that movie, but you know what
You
I'm
don't want it
saying.
in every
It was-
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Especially one like a horror movie where you want your tension to like
Tension
stay.
was up. And
Yeah.
they did a great job of keeping it up the entire movie. Even when it got to a lull,
Right.
it was only quiet long enough to scare you.
Right. And they kind of, exactly. They pull it around like it's almost, the alien themselves are such a threat. And then all of a sudden they pull out the gun and the gun just blasts them all. But then they've got to turn around and navigate through acid. And so it just
I
kind of
know.
keeps like changing.
Like
the
And the
everything
acid was on
they
a
do
timer?
causes more issues.
Right. Yeah.
They have to swim through the acid quickly, and then they have to get the fuck out of the spaceship because gravity's back, and the
Right.
ship's about to like
Yeah.
get a giant hole in it.
And also, what another good little story item, the gravity thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to happen because of this. And you're like, now that is
Okay.
something. Oh, I'm
good-
buying
it's a
it.
good-
yeah.
It's like
And
a
then they
pressure
get to
relief
use
valve, but
that.
it's gravity.
Yeah.
Sure,
that's
that
like
makes sense.
that's like the the MacGuffin almost.
Yeah.
It's like it keeps you moving along and with the whole situation.
Video game feeling, like
Yeah.
But it's still really well done, as you said. As you said, the action sequences were very well acted. It's kind of interesting to see that contrast too. There wasn't a lot that had to be said, but which is great. It's still different. Again, I sat down and watched like the first 40 minutes of Alien again, just because I was sort of thinking about the contrast here. And it's pretty cool that, I mean, Alien itself, I think you talked about this before, that like the first half of it is not horror at all. It's just interesting sort of sci-fi place. And even like in the beginning of the Alien film, the camera just moves around the interior of the spaceship for a while, just letting you see the place, letting you see what's going on. It's really cool. It's very different. Alien is a horror film only on the back half. This one, though, is much more getting to horror pretty quickly. I mean, because there's no mystery or anything. But so it's kind of a different, and then that in Alien, the first one, it does.
But this could have been. You say that, but this could have been a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
This didn't have to go horror.
It didn't have to.
general
And it's fine.
story.
But it would have been problematic. I mean, we'd have the great visuals, but the other thing Alien, the first one does really well too, is the characters are really well established. And the dialogue, it's really well acted. You watch them just interact over their food as they're waking up, and you get a sense of them as real people. They don't have to
and
be
what
doing
situation they're in.
right. They don't have to be
Where-
running for
yeah.
anything or moving to. You're just seeing them in the environment and seeing them as real people before all the shit comes down. And
It's kind of interesting because they chose a much younger crowd, and for this one, and it makes sense, right? Like they're impulsive.
right.
They're
This is
gonna,
horror
they're
movie.
gonna
This is-
skip.
this is the-
like it's all
right.
it's all horror movie stuff.
The teenagers go to the
absolutely. Yeah.
camp. They go run
Exactly.
into the woods, and they do
Right.
stupid
But-
things. Right? Yeah.
But he wouldn't have been able to do that if we hadn't had that other movie that gave us all that other backstory, which is why they're up there, what they're trying to do. And this one was like, we don't need to waste any time. Let's get to the aliens.
Yeah. That's right.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
how come her friend has his own spaceship? Like that, he just got his own trucking spaceship. He gets to just launch.
I don't know if it's
whenever he
his. It could be on rental.
Did he steal it
from the company?
Doesn't anybody else know that they took off?
I mean, it sounded like his job was to go into space to do something and then come back down.
He was
That
salvaging. Maybe okay.
Yeah.
So he had
Was
that
it salvaging? He did something up in space.
All right,
So
all right,
he's
all right.
supposed to be out there.
He's supposed
but
to be
he's not
doing
supposed
that.
to be doing
Okay.
what he's doing.
No.
I see.
Okay. Hey, that's
I
that's
kind of
good,
asked.
though.
I kind of
like that.
questioned that myself. Like, how did they just end up getting this situation?
Yeah.
And it's probably because I didn't listen and was eating my chicken fingers before.
No, I mean,
At the
they
beginning of the
explained it
movie.
that there was this undetected giant spaceship up
Right.
in space
Which-
around the area
yeah.
he was salvaging or whatever he was doing up there. I'm not sure they specify, but he goes up and down in space for the mining company.
he's
That's his job.
Right. Okay. So that's not even his
what
spaceship.
What didn't make sense to
necessarily.
me is how don't the people in charge on the planet notice this giant space station
or the
kind of
company
close?
that runs the
True.
damn thing, who knows that they've been doing the alien stuff. I'm sure they're like, oh, we lost contact. We better go get them. Maybe
I
again,
assume maybe that they have been intentionally acting like it didn't exist because of all the shit that happened before. But
Wouldn't they just want to go up there and blow it
you
up? as
guys know
opposed to
there's
letting it float
aliens
around
on
your
this
planet?
thing, people.
right.
We should probably blow it up.
but the
I don't know
company
about
still
you.
the company still supposedly wants that serum, so they don't really want to blow it up.
That's true too. They wanted the
Oh,
serum.
Right, that's right. I forgot about the serum.
Yeah.
Poking holes in this movie.
No. I mean, that makes more sense that they didn't blow it up, though. They had to go back and get it, but why didn't they do that? I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe,
And
again,
how long of a period of time between when that ship collected the ship remains from the first Alien movie,
right? The Nostromo.
The Nostromo.
yeah.
But when? So from this movie is 20 years after the first Alien. When in that 20-year period of time did this ship pick up the other ship and get everyone killed? Was it really close to this movie, or was it 20 years ago, closer to 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Did they give dates in the beginning? I forget.
Not really. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's maybe if I look on the.
Because what I'm trying to say is maybe it was a fresh thing. Maybe they just got destroyed recently, within a year.
Well, they give a year.
So they didn't have time
they
to
actually
respond
give an
to
actual
the-
year. So the plot for this one is 2142. That's the year.
Oh, way ahead.
That's where Echo Space Probe investigates the wreckage of the Nostromo. That's where they pick it up in 2142.
And then when does this movie take place?
That's when this movie takes place. So now it's a question of when does Alien take place?
20 years before. But the question is, when does that ship in the beginning of Romulus pick up the remnants from Alien?
It says 2142.
Is when it picks it up.
Yeah.
So then when does this movie take place? Because it's after that.
Right. So, but I don't know because they were doing their experiments, whatever. They had lots of face huggers there. So maybe they were doing research for like 2 or 3 more years or something like that. I don't know.
This It doesn't say.
Maybe we shouldn't try to figure it out.
Yeah,
So it doesn't ruin it.
It's not. It's a horror film again.
And it's a fantastic one.
It is.
It was.
But
I would go see it again.
So would I. Definitely
Yeah.
a good one
I'm
to
a
throw
little
on.
bummed. I
at a Halloween
wanted to.
party.
I wanted to be more scared by the hybrid thing, and I wasn't. And I don't know.
Oh, that's too bad because I was creeped the fuck
I
I
out.
was
know,
creeped
I know.
out. I wasn't like, I don't know. It was pretty scared because like the thing was pretty horrific. The idea of it like nursing on her, the whole pregnancy scene of her like bleeding was like,
I know.
that was terrible.
Was gnarly.
I almost got Naomi
Yeah.
to go see this. And as soon as that was happening, I was like, oh my God, I'm
Oh,
so
I
happy.
know. And I said the
that-
same. I'm glad came home, was like, I don't think you would have wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean that shit was pretty rough. It seemed the gore effects were real. It was gross. The monster in its mouth and what it was going to do with it. It was like probably the most disgusting. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen, and it put the idea in my head. And I'm pretty sure that's what it was going for.
Yeah.
And I'm not just crazy, but then it makes you think about that, which makes you feel worse about yourself, which is part of the horror,
I
which
know.
is part of the fun.
Which is all cyclical, and then
Yeah.
you get more and more creeped out. And
And I think
Yeah.
one of the best shots of the movie too is where the lead actor who plays Rain is walking towards the camera, and she just hit it with like the freezing mist or whatever. And it was kind of weird because I didn't know why she was walking so slowly. I didn't know if she was going slow because she was afraid or because the mist was like slowing her down. But the creature was like in the mist behind her with the flashing lights, and she like the camera was really down low in the corridor, and it's backing up, and she's slowly trying to get away from it. I thought that was
It was good.
creepy as hell with like the creature
I
in
had the same
smoke.
confusion about why she was. I didn't know if she was like frozen or.
I
if,
think
like,
it was
got
because she
her.
was frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of
She
weird.
got sprayed. She got sprayed with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it slowed her down somehow. You know, like that
Yeah.
happens
Like a
in the
video
video
game.
games too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got hit with the
I
freeze
mean,
ray.
a big influence in this movie is Alien Isolation, the video game.
Yep.
There's actually a shot when she's like hanging outside the spaceship and the aliens punching her in the mask. There's the cover of like look up Alien Isolation, the video game. The cover of that is a shot replicated in this movie when she's
nice.
hanging outside.
Dude, I was jumping in that part too when he grabbed her by the face. I was like, fuck! You know, I wanted to scream. I actually really liked how they set that whole thing up with the initial, when he's a baby, you see a shot of him as a baby-ish. You see a real quick glimpse.
Yeah.
And then the next shot after her walking a little bit is a big footprint. And you're like, fuck, this thing's going even faster than the other ones. It's like just 2 shots or 2 or 3 shots had a whole narrative in it. And I thought they did a good job with some of that stuff of setting us up tiny little bits and like putting these things in our head that we had to connect all on our own. And man, that was part of, as soon as you saw him, you knew he was going to be huge. I just didn't think he was going to be human.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be human. If you read some of the reviews online, that one decision really split people. A lot of the bad
did it?
reviews come from how weird that shit is. Because it is, I was shocked. I was like, they really went here? Like, this is an alien movie, and they're putting this weird shit at
Yeah.
the end of it?
Yep,
This
yep.
is kind of a bold choice. But
It
like
was,
a great
but it
horror
was
movie
good.
choice, but a very bold, I don't know if there's a better word, like franchise movie choice, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
I
it
mean,
doesn't,
it's
like-
also creepy in itself. Like, wait, it can be a hybrid? Like, you know, like there's all these new things that can come from this now. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Didn't we kind of learn that from, they
Yeah,
kind of hinted
the
at that, like Prometheus.
and in the lore, there's that mixing of stuff,
but
right?
never
So-
shown
Not really.
like a human at all.
No, but I mean, you see the engineers are shown a little the big dudes. So that's kind of idea is that this is like a kind of like the big dude, kind of the engineer kind of guy. When you have the scary thing, but it does sort of like what's strange, I guess, and maybe it hurts some purists are a little annoyed. I don't know. Like it's like to have, you know, your final battle not be with an alien. You know, you're like there's something different, and so maybe.
Isn't that why there's new movies?
I know.
Audiences, come on.
I know. I'm telling you, that's fine. But
Yeah.
maybe that's where and again,
That's
like,
exciting. It'd be stupid if you knew what you're going to get every
but
time.
I wish I was. It's hard. It's like it's hard to match. Like this is the new alien or the hybrid, it doesn't match the scare factor that, say, the first Alien had when you see it, but nothing's going to kind of match that either, right?
None of the other Alien movies are as scary as the first one.
Right.
Like none of them go for full on horror. And this one does, and it's the second scariest Alien movie.
I know.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
I agree. But yeah, so I wish it would hit better with me. It doesn't make me hate the film or anything. It just didn't scare me as much as I wanted it to. It was just more like...
I think maybe I wasn't scared. I was creeped out.
Creeped out, I guess, yeah.
I was creeped out.
Yeah.
And the excitement in the crowded theater was ridiculous too, because people didn't know what the fuck they were looking at. There were people in the theater like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is great energy.
Right.
Yeah,
People are
It
afraid
is.
and confused.
Like you said, that's the horror when the horror film like goes off the rails, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what there's great films that do that when they just go fucking nuts towards the end, especially after they've and this one wasn't really subdued for a while. But we have like some, Hereditary is pretty like normal for a while until it just goes crazy. Fucking like that's probably one of the more extreme examples of it. But
Insidious goes pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one? Like the last 30 minutes.
I remember
goes pretty
that
nuts.
yeah. So it is kind of fun to see this film start just do that too. Like it's like towards the end, it is just like going. Like I didn't know what would like you saw in me when you saw the serum and they thought about injecting it. That was also pretty clear. It's like, this is gonna happen.
that might not be the best idea.
Somehow, I don't know what this is gonna happen. I don't know. I thought it would turn her into.
I thought it was a good idea until we saw the rat or
Until
whatever.
we saw the rat,
died.
right?
Yeah.
Once
And
I saw the
"Uh-oh."
rat, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna be in the same boat.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
laughed
not gonna be
because that
good."
timing was kind of comedic. It's like they watch the rat, they're like, "This rat's fine," and they
Right.
leave the room, and the rat dies
then it
immediately.
dies.
And you're like, "Oh,
I know.
you should have stuck around for 30 more seconds." Fuck.
I know.
But it's like, why did it didn't impact her body at all? It went all right to the baby. Because she didn't change at all. Arguably, I thought that she was gonna like change, and then
She might have.
I thought
She
she was
died
gonna.
pretty quickly
I was like
afterwards.
thinking, okay, she's gonna
Yeah.
change and be all freaky, and then she's gonna have a freaky baby.
Oh, you mean like actually morph for
like
something
she would
into
like
something
because
else?
the rat
I
morphed,
see.
right? But anyway, it was, but it was.
Oh, I thought
again,
it
a
just
great,
died.
Yeah, oh,
There
it
was
did,
some-
but it
they-
blew
they
up
showed-
first. It like went all weird before
Yeah.
it died.
Oh.
And didn't they
No,
show
so
like
if the
other?
baby wasn't there, I bet if the baby wasn't like, if she wasn't pregnant,
the
maybe
baby
it would
absorbed the serum.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because it is a
Somehow.
life serum, so maybe it looks for like
Oh,
the
maybe-
best access
maybe
to
it's
fresh
smart.
life or something like
It's
that.
like, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We could make shit up to make it make
We
sense.
can make it work.
It was-
we
it
can make
was-
it work.
It was all golden and sparkly. It knew what it was doing.
Yeah. It's got that new baby smell. I went right to it.
Yeah. Wow. But that was weird.
Nothing but praise, except for the bad acting.
And it wasn't
Questionable
even that
one
bad.
line. No, it wasn't.
Sometimes,
The bad
did
dialogue.
did
they
its
weren't
job.
given much to work with.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing was bad. This movie was great. No complaints.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I
had
also
a
think I
blast.
can't think of a better movie I've seen this year.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
left the theater
this
being
movie's-
like, that was the best movie I've seen this year for
Yeah.
sure.
Shit,
And it's the last of the year,
what else
too.
do we see?
Because of the experience, though, not
Yeah.
about like if I'm going to be the snob that I am, then
No,
you
no,
know
you
the
can take it
story,
apart.
and
But
all
no,
that.
no.
No, but it's a
But
horror movie.
I
They
didn't
did
have
scare
to
you the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that at all this time, and it was a blast.
right.
Yeah.
No, it did its job, and again, not only that, you had the great visual effects and shot planning, and so you could appreciate all of that along the way, and then it's great. What else have we seen though? Have we not seen? We saw Wolverine and Deadpool. We saw this. We saw what else did we go to? I saw a lot this year. I feel like, but I can't remember anything.
We saw a lot of it for we did like a lot of Oscar stuff earlier on in the year.
Been to a lot of empty theaters.
I mean, really, it's a shame. Does anybody even go to that theater?
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
like unbelievable.
It's me when I go. I'm like doing it like at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Yeah, but
So,
still,
it's me.
like I'm surprised that there's nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the new Mad Max. We saw Love Lies Bleeding. We saw Late Night with the Devil. All highly reviewed movies this year.
Right.
Um,
But yeah,
None of those
they're all
compare to
just
this.
okay. Yeah.
This was also one of those epic movies where they've spent a good amount of money on the sets and stuff, and it just really tied together. The production design was good. The ideas were good. The storyline was not anything to
Served
write
its
home
purpose.
about,
It
but
got you
it
around
still
the
had a lot
spaceship.
of good elements.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just did.
Arguably, it could have
this
slowed
was
it
awesome.
down too much if they wanted to give depth to everybody. Or again, you want the teenagers going out and frolicking in the woods, and you need to get to that as soon as possible. And
yeah.
I mean, it's
Very
just-
important.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, it's kind of amazing. I think you're right too. I think this one really did its job. Like I was curled up in the seat quite a bit. Yeah.
You close your eyes?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
a couple of like that's part of the total. That's the full curl, Where you put
See, I don't ever close my eyes when I get nervous. I put one hand close to my ear, so I feel like I have some control. Like I can at least block half of the jump scare when it comes.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting there like this,
gets
because the audio gets me.
See,
you look
for
like
me,
you're solid
I'm like, oh
snake
fuck, they're
receiving
about to
transition.
It's coming. It's coming. I think some of the spider-like visuals always get me, because I don't like spiders.
Very creepy.
So some of that stuff I was
In the
like,
water, spiders in the water. Too,
Yeah, God,
the
no.
face huggers
Fuck
in the
you.
water was
Oh my God.
yeah.
and them coming out of the jelly looked so gross too.
It did. And just, those, even when they're full adults, they were, just terrifying.
I love it when horror movies do that, where it's like 2 minutes before anything bad happened, it shows the ice melting a little bit and you see what's in it and you're just like,
and you're like,
oh
fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
These idiots don't even realize what they've started.
yeah, this is about to get good. Here we go.
It's like the beginning of the roller coaster and you're on your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can see where this is going, everybody. Can you guys see
and
this?
then all of a sudden
geez.
it just comes off the cliff. And then that's when we're off, folks. All the way.
Yeah. All right. I got some trivia on this one.
What do you got?
Oh, nice.
There was a 15-minute making of on YouTube, which is great because they usually don't put that up. They save it for like special features on DVDs and stuff, but they might be trying to like promote it.
They got to move away from that, right? At some point.
Yeah. I mean, it's going all digital now.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes things don't even come out in physical anymore. It's fucking weird. This movie, by the way, was supposed to be digital only back in 2019 when it was greenlit. Back when Fox was like owned by itself. They had a direct to Hulu deal, but then Disney bought Fox, which we actually talked about in the Deadpool Wolverine episode because I was a part of that too. And then as soon as that happened around that time, Disney was like, nope, we're doing the full thing here. Big budget to theaters movie. But Fede Alvarez wasn't signed on until 2022. So it was kind of, I assume,
It's interesting.
pandemic production hell sort of thing.
Did
Wow.
Deadpool have this too? Because maybe I missed like the beginning when they have the 20th century logo with the fanfare. Instead, it used to be 20th Century Fox, and now it just says 20th Century Studios, which was interesting to see. Just it doesn't say Disney
Because it's Disney now.
I know, but it's not like
But it's not Fox
Not going to
anymore,
be
right.
Disney with the little Magic Kingdom before
No,
we have
they
our
don't.
murder and
Disney
gore
doesn't
and
want
stuff.
R-rated movies.
Right. So,
Under their header still, even though Deadpool Wolverine was. It was the first one, but not this one. This one's, they don't want
This
that
one's too much.
ending. Yeah. It's not going to be under the Disney name. But I did love that. Even like the alteration of the song for that portion, like you know what you're expecting, but it makes it extra creepy.
Yeah.
I love it when they
when
do
it
that.
did the green fade, that was cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
too. Like they did a little bit of like green effects. That was neat.
Yeah, it's like a nice extra little touch that movies don't do too frequently. But it's kind of like, okay, we're transitioning from the title screens. Everyone's seeing these, and we're gonna start right now. We're getting into this world. So they brought in the special effects team from Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and 2 of the Alien vs. Predator movies. There's more than 2 Alien vs. Predator movies.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what they are. I'm pretty sure I saw the first one, but only 2 of the AVP movies. 'Cause
Wow.
apparently there's more than 2.
Are they
but-
good?
The first, I mean, it's kind of like Freddy versus Jason. You ever see that one?
No, but I saw Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, it might be like that. It's like super campy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very video gamey. But so for Aliens, they had Legacy Effects is what it's called, and it's Stan Winston's old studio.
Oh, okay.
The guy who did like The Thing, and he's like the best special effects guy in history, basically, according to everyone. His studio, and then the other studio was Studio Gillis, which did Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and 2 of the AVP movies. So a lot of those people that worked on those movies are all split up into their own special effects teams, but they Fede specifically actively had a dream since he was a kid to like get all these special effects teams back and working together to make practical effects for an Alien movie.
Oh.
And they did. They got everyone, I assume
Wow.
not absolutely everyone, but they got all these different people from all these different teams that worked on those movies back to make all these practical special effects for this
How
movie.
cool is that?
Yeah. And if you watch the behind the scenes features, like they built so many different kinds of face huggers. Like the ones in the water were different than the ones crawling on the ceiling, were different than the ones crawling on the ground, up the walls.
wow.
Like they had all these different models that actually moved, and all that stuff you were seeing was all real. Like all the face hugger stuff, 100% real. Even the shot where they had the girl who died first pull the face hugger out of her throat, and you see the tube coming out. That was real.
What?
That was fucking real. That was a real shot. Apparently, it was the hardest take for her by far. People said it was one of the
because
hardest
she's
shots
intubated.
in the movie. She's intubated. It's covered in like a lubricant, basically. And they had next to where she was doing it, they had to do it multiple times, and they had a spit bucket for her. So she could spit the excess lube into this bucket after they ripped this thing out of her throat to get the shot.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking awesome. It looks so good. And that's how they had to get. That's what you have to do to get a good disgusting shot, is to stick a tube down somebody's throat and pull it out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That,
That's brutal.
you have to have some medical person on staff on scene for that, I imagine, just
For
because
sure.
there's got to be some risk there.
Yeah. Gotta be.
Jesus.
John's a doctor. There's gotta be
right.
some risk
Yeah,
stuffing something down your
There's
throat.
got to be some
There's gotta be.
liability, some
I'm a
risk,
medical
something.
doctor, but we got I'm a little worried
That's
here.
where you breathe from. I think.
I'm not no medical doctor, but I tell you what,
You're not supposed to put stuff down there.
that don't look like it's supposed to be down there.
And if I'm wrong about that, I've been teaching my kids the wrong things for a very long time.
That's right.
Fede worked on the script, and he talked with Ridley Scott and James Cameron during the writing of the script, got their approval before making the movie. While he was talking to Ridley Scott, just in conversation, Scott mentioned that he thought Ash from the original Alien was such a badass character that he deserved a comeback.
Oh,
So Fede wrote him in to the script here as a separate, not Ash, but
right.
Rook, same actor, same robot. This is a big studio film, so Disney was involved, and they did not like the ending idea of The Offspring. And they came with the script. They're like, we want you to get rid of it. Don't do that. You can't do that. And Fede was like, I'm putting my feet in the ground. Disney doesn't like it. This is what we got to do. Like 100% this part is going to work because Disney doesn't want it. We're going for horror. Disney doesn't like it. This is good.
They shouldn't have put the fucking they shouldn't have put the money
Where would
in
they
it.
go after you blow all the aliens up? What you bring in a
thing,
queen?
I think what
guess?
saves this movie a lot of the time is it does pay homage to a lot of different parts of the other Alien movies, and it gets away with it because the ending is so ridiculously different.
Right.
If they had
Fair.
gone the way Disney wanted, it probably would have been like just copy. Like, I mean, even them falling out of the spaceship and fighting the alien through an airlock is like the same as Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, you're right.
But they probably would have just done something
A
carbon
queen.
copy.
Just,
to be
just
like,
have
it
an
works.
alien queen, big alien
Right,
queen
a queen
shows up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Write it. Queen is popular. People love aliens.
Right.
Write it.
That's
We're
right.
Disney.
I mean, you pretty much nailed any of those guys in Hollywood.
You got it. You got it, Booby. Booby.
You know what?
You got it.
A
You got
queen.
me.
Love it. Let's go. Write it. Let me know when you got a draft. Thanks. Making
You like your
money
job,
over
right?
here.
You like your job, right? All right,
Yeah.
get it done. All right, see you later.
We're letting
Get
you
it
make this
done.
movie. We're letting you have your fun with your little toys.
That's funny.
You playing with your little alien animatronics over here. We're big business over here, guy. You gotta listen to me. I'm very important.
This is thing. You want this thing that does what? No.
You can have a gun and you can shoot them. That's all we'll let you have.
The auto targeting was really cool. I liked how they showed that. Showed that functional. That was neat.
Got to turn that
Smart
setting
move.
off in the video games, though. It makes it too easy.
That's true.
It's no
I know,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a lot of wire work. I actually didn't think about when I was watching it, but they did. TC picked up on it because you mentioned it.
Yep.
But like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff was them working on wires, and all of them
Yeah.
could do it. All the young actors could do it. I'm sure it was part of the tryout phase, but they were good at it. So
Wow.
it looked really freaking smooth when they were weightless. It looked like they were
It
flying.
really did. I thought they did a great job, especially in that one scene. I mean, they must have put most of the effort into that one. But
The acid one. The first
Yeah,
one too,
that
when
was
like one of the
fantastic.
guys falls on the ground
Yep.
because he's not near anything. That was pretty good.
That
oh,
too.
was
yep,
good, yeah.
that was good. Yeah.
The 30-minute countdown aligns with 30 minutes of screen time. They got it to be lined up perfectly there.
I was watching that. I had a sense of the time. I was thinking that's what they're doing. I was like, good for you. When they shifted
gotta
it
be
down
really
to 30,
hard to
yeah.
do.
But I think that's pretty awesome.
Because like what do? How many minutes of buffer do you give yourself? And what if you feel like you can't edit the buffer? What if you need that?
Right.
Then you fuck up the
well,
time.
it can be approximate though too. It doesn't have to be exact. So you probably, I'm sure you got like a good
couple minutes.
Wiggle room there. Unless you got some nerd in the audience. Hey, they should be dead.
I started my timer
the rings now.
But then it's going to go to DVD and people are going to be able to time it. Like me, I'm absolutely going to do that when I get this on physical. The Romanian basketball player's name was Robert Bobrozki. How do you think you say that?
Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky.
I don't know.
But his name is Robert, so his name could be Bobrovsky.
Nice.
That's a pretty sweet name.
Bobrovsky.
Hey, what's up, Bob?
Hey, Bobby, Bob, how you doing?
Bobrovsky.
Yeah. His name is Bob, and he's 7'7". Very unique person.
I don't think he'll want to tell that to his face.
No, he's probably gentle. He's an alien. Come on.
He's probably gentle.
When you're that tall, you have no reason to be mean.
That's right.
So Ridley Scott saw a screener of this movie and talked to Fede afterwards. And Fede's like, what did you think? And Ridley he gave this kind of interview on the red carpet after the premiere. So it was like much later when he was talking about the story. He told the interviewer that he was like, I was relieved because like this is a big budget movie and seeing it, I was like, this could be big. But Fede wanted notes. So really doesn't like to give notes like in person. So he wrote him notes and then handed it to him.
Oh.
And then Fede went to go read it by himself. But he was like visible. And as soon as he read it, he said he kicked the wall and punched the wall and then came back to him and said, those are some good notes. But the notes were talking about how the movie was too long. How he's like, you already have so much good stuff in here, but it's too long. Like you don't want, I know you want to hang on it because it's good, but you have to cut it down because you like it. What's most important now, since you have all this good content, is to keep the tension up throughout the entire thing. Like people don't want to see more good stuff when everything is good. They want like the flow of the movie to be consistent and appropriate for like.
It's almost like he knows what he's doing.
Kind of,
You know? Yeah.
Interesting.
He might know what he's doing. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Even at this age, it's kind of surprising.
Maybe we got to go see
Gladiator 2?
Megalopolis now.
Oh no, that's Ford Coppola.
It's Coppola? Oh crap, that's not Scott. You're
no,
right.
but
Anyway.
Scott's doing Gladiator 2.
Oh,
I'm definitely seeing that.
All right.
Can that possibly be good?
I don't care. I'm going anyway. That was my favorite
know how
movie in
that
high
all
school.
works.
I don't give a shit.
I'm afraid of that one.
I'm
gonna
going to
go
that.
see
I'm
it,
going to
too.
Mufasa. I know that much right now.
Mufasa. You are the everyman moviegoer,
right.
TC. You will make both of those movies $1 billion.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to eat my Skittles.
Just don't drop them. Make sure not to drop them. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. So Fede kept everyone on set on edge. He wanted them to look really scared, and the way he did that was he set up a soundboard to a loudspeaker on every single set so that randomly he could press a button, make an alien noise, press a button, make an alarm noise, scare the people acting. So they were always on edge during the scary parts because they never knew when they were going to get blasted with the sound.
And like the sound was in that. That's smart. I like that idea. Yeah.
Because he talked a lot about what he thinks too. And he's like, he tries to like hit people on like some relatable emotional stuff in terms of like the setup for the horror scenes. But what matters the most to him is that the people in the scenes look scared.
Right.
Believe it or not.
And that's what we're saying.
Who could imagine?
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
We were already saying that too when we talked about
for like long
what
legs.
was
No one looked
effective.
friggin' scared.
Everyone, you know, they have their dialogue and stuff when they're not scared, and it doesn't sound good. But or often, or at least half.
He's rolling it back very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, he did. He really went backwards
Anyway,
there.
But the thing is, though, when they are scared, when they're in those moments, it's great. They're doing great acting there, but it may not be so much acting because their director is torturing them.
Yeah, and it works. And they all liked him too. It was actually kind of funny. They had to walk back. They're like, he's kind of a scary guy. No, he's like the nicest guy ever, but he's scary when he wants to be. And then some people were like, he's a great director. He never takes no for an answer, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. It's a good thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because you can take these days, everyone's always going to walk things back. Never takes no for an answer. What does that mean?
What
I
do
gotta
you
watch out
yeah,
for this
right.
guy.
Yeah, right. Can I sue him?
Yeah.
How do I sue him?
Yeah. Kind
Right.
of sucks that everyone's like on edge. But you can still make a good movie. So that's good. The cockpit set was built on a gimbal so it could rotate and shake. So all that stuff when they were flying around was like they didn't really have to act that much because they were actually moving around like they were on a ride,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this was like that. Like they had the actors all talked about how it was easy because like they're all young. They've never worked on, not a lot of them have worked on a big budget movie, but even if they had, not with sets like this, because like movies don't do sets like this anymore. They don't do practical monsters like this. They don't do practical lighting like this because it takes too much pre-production or something. Like it's not more money. This looks better than bigger budget movies. Again, maybe because they don't have good actors, but I don't think that's entirely it. You could still have stacked this with really good actors and still been like $150 million easy, which is less than Marvel, and it looks so much better than those. I think this movie's going to stand up to the test of time. It looks that good.
Yep.
Like there was nothing in it.
I agree. Yeah,
there's nothing in it that was like, oh, that's not great. It all looks really fucking good, and they can do it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. They filmed it in Budapest. That probably helped. They didn't film it in Hollywood.
And maybe there might not be as many people that do this. Like they put together some really good people that all want to do this, like the science fiction alien stuff. Like so they had
the super team of special effects people. That's probably kind of hard to assemble. And you couldn't do that all the time.
Even if it doesn't
that's true.
cost, right?
That's a good point.
And the people that want to do exactly this, like everybody, at least from the way you sort of were saying it, it seems like everybody is really excited about this, right? And wanted to do it.
And I mean, the young kids are excited because this is a huge thing, so they put in their effort, the actors.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It was just a perfect combination of things, which you got to give the director credit for, because regardless of what he's doing on set, all of that's planned too, right? Mm-hmm. So,
and the CGI, I guess, you don't need, like you said too, maybe another part of it is you just need a lot less planning, and you can just go ahead and do whatever and then fill it in later, but that probably costs money to be doing all the whatever it is you, and
especially because it ends up looking like shit, and they keep sending it back, being like, "Fix it," and you're like, "You can't fix it," but you're still spending the money to try to fix it.
I mean, with the volume wall too does a lot. It does a lot.
That's my new favorite thing in the past 10 years of movies. That thing never looks bad in anything that I see. I mean,
it's like a shitload of money to
rent it, but it's got to be getting cheaper.
Man, is it nice? Because you can figure you could come back for 5 days in a row and shoot the same shot, and you're gonna have the lighting the same. You're gonna have
they built
everything
the gimbal set in the cockpit against the video wall. Like they had this giant set where they're like, it was on a gimbal, and they had this giant wall like all around
the way around,
and they could film it from the outside, they could film it from the inside, they could go fucking anywhere, and it looked great everywhere they did it.
And they can set up lights that follow like the sun, so that it looks just right. Yeah.
I'm sure they had a video wall in that one shot in the corridor. They probably planted it right next to one, and that shot of the spaceship spinning around was probably just the video wall.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt
up with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can do with those things, and most of the time we're not going to know it's even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's the best part.
That's the best.
It just crushes overlaid, green screen type stuff. It just there's nothing like it because it's all happening in the moment.
And I mean, what do you think, TC? So we used to, I think a little while ago, like towards the beginning of this podcast, we used to talk about how CG was going to catch up and replace everything. But at this point, is there even a point to do it? Because like you could just do the video wall and it's going to look amazing. Is it just going to get cheaper to do video wall and then just get rid of green screen backgrounds?
I'm sure someone's doing that math, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But it's hard. It's those to rent the volume wall and like have the crew and all that. It's expensive.
For the space, this is like an ideal scenario for the video wall, right? You've got the spaceship that's completely separate. So you can have your like environment completely separate from where the actors are and what the actors are doing. I think if you're going to have a lot of interactivity or whatever, then you need more of the CGI stuff, I guess. But
but how much do they interact with stuff in Marvel? It always still seems like they're standing in one spot in Marvel movies for the most part.
That's fair. That's true. I don't know. It just seems perfect where it's sort of like you get to separate the environment completely from where the actors are and what the actors are in. And so it just makes it like it's the perfect combo of things. You've got like your sky and the space stuff. It's just all on the wall. Wall takes care of it. Everything else happens inside the ship. The two don't have to interact really. But so I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, it's awesome stuff.
It's made for some. As good as anything I've seen as far as the science fiction parts of this, like the space scenes, were just pretty damn awesome.
Yeah,
they were
such a nice little frosting on the horror cake. Just combo horror, science fiction. God, I love it. It's like the best
horror with the side of classic science fiction, like really good hard science fiction looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of lighting too, so like all that video wall stuff was producing lighting, but all of the lighting on set was produced, like they designed the sets for those lights. So like they didn't have behind the camera stage lights or anything like that. They put the lights where they wanted them in the sets that they built to light what they were planning on seeing. So that really, I mean, it's a pretty dark movie, and that's a good thing. And that's mostly because they're just being lit with all the little light fixtures they have all over the place.
Nice.
And especially when like you have like the strobe effects going on, when there's like alarms going on and stuff like that, it's none of it's like fake lighting from behind the camera like a lot of other movies do. You can you can see the lighting change from, you know, we can see it. Biggest, let's see. I already said that. So and the last piece of trivia I have is they filmed this movie chronologically, which is rare.
Oh, that is rare.
And the actors all appreciated it because it makes it way easier for them because they know
and
exactly
I
where
would
they are.
imagine the volume wall helps with that too.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that this movie is kind of on the same set the entire time, like it's kind of, they probably just built it all and they just all right, now we're walking to this room, walk over one room in reality. All right, we're going to film here for today.
Yep, probably.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it is amazing. I never would have thought they would be able to do something like that. But I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what the pre-production is. So I have a feeling it's out of reach for most filmmakers at this point still.
The sets and everything. Yeah.
It's just the volume wall and having the ability to build all the things that you need around it. And, you know, it's not just having the screens.
So so the way it works is there's one volume wall in the studio and you take each set and you plunk it. If you're going to shoot that set that day, you plunk it in the middle of the volume wall. And then the next day you might lift it up and move something else in. Like they probably do it overnight, maybe.
Or
switch the sets out.
No, I mean, so like the one that I've seen, it's like half the sound stage. So what they do is they have the same volume wall. The volume wall doesn't do anything, and you reuse that same area in front of it, but you wheel in sets and wheel them out again.
Oh.
So it's like you're always in the same place. So the volume wall, the lights, how it works, and all that stays in the same spot.
Do the camera stay like on cranes in the same spot?
And the camera can move anywhere. The camera can be wherever it needs to be. So they'll roll in sets that, you know, you'll use the entire space and the camera will move and there's plenty of area to move around. And, you know, the screen goes not only left and right, but all the way above you too. So they have the ability really to shoot almost as if you're in another place. And when they turn those lights on and they have all the, you know, actual practical effects like rocks and, you know, walls and all these other things, you can't really tell that you're not walking in another space. So it's kind of like the same effect if you go to the Omni Theater at the Museum of Science, right? You kind of feel like you're in that other place because they've, you know, extended it all around you and your senses are kind of confused. That's how it is for the camera. So it looks amazing, but it is so damn expensive, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes per hour. So you're burning when you're going there. Yeah.
Better be ready.
So, but you know, it's like I said, it's not something that's done by most. So to be able to do it in the first place is cool. And then the fact that he was able to make such good actual production sets, like the design was just good. Everything's good. I got nothing bad to say, folks.
Great.
For once, I have nothing bad to say.
Look at that. TC loves a horror movie. He loves a franchise movie. He loves a big budget popular movie. This is all,
you know, it's all happening for me, you know?
That's great. I honestly was pretty sure that you guys would like it. It would have been, even I was a little worried, John, being in the theater when you sent that picture. I was like, maybe a solo experience might not be as good.
Might not be the best.
Yeah, you're right. And it wasn't, but it still was. Yeah. It would have been more fun, like if there's somebody beside me going, "Oh my God, what is that thing?" Then I would have enjoyed it a lot more, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'd have been a lot happier with the thing. Yeah. But,
so I think it might be safe to assume that we would probably all put it in the top 250.
I would, but I mean,
I would.
It is hard to say. I like horror movies a lot. I put this in my top 250, but like compared to, you know, what we've learned the rules of the 250 are, like I think there has to be some accessibility to it. I think for a horror movie, this is somewhat accessible because it has jump scares, which are fun and they don't seem cheap. They actually are like scary and it's fun. You're not like annoyed by them because sometimes they can be annoying. Sometimes they're just like predictable and stupid. This one, you could see them coming and it was tense and it was fun almost each time. The monster design was, I don't know. The ending part might freak people out. I honestly, people that are trying to get pregnant or have been pregnant, I would say don't watch this movie. It was that bad. If you're especially if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you know someone who's had a rough pregnancy, like it was fucking gross.
Gnarly.
It was really gross, and it could give people PTSD. Maybe I would think. So I mean, that's also good horror movie, but it will push people away, right? So like, it's not going to be a popular movie. With that being said, this movie has a really high audience score and really high score on IMDb for a horror movie. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's great.
I'd put it on my top 250.
It's mine. It's on mine.
I think I would too. I think
it
has these extra things with the craft that's put into it and the passion that's behind it, and that really shines through too. I mean, so it also just, and that's what makes some of the science fiction films like Blade Runner and stuff really great, is this kind of like meticulousness, somebody who really cares about what they're setting up, and trying to
there was no question you're in this world. Right from the get-go.
Right.
You're in it and you stay
and
there.
it might
it's
not,
fantastic.
like you said, we've talked about before, it might not have worked if they had a better, like more in-depth characters. There's maybe no time for that. It wouldn't have. It really
wouldn't have been as
it
tense.
ultimately didn't. I mean, I'm sure it could have been better, and the dialogue could have been done better, or whatever. But still, it didn't.
But it wasn't
matter.
that bad.
No, it didn't matter what the film
and
did.
it was tense enough to keep it all
it,
going.
to me, it is an
forward
interesting
fast.
contrast. That way, that
John's by himself, elbowing the air, being like, "Can you believe this dialogue?
Can you believe how bad this dialogue is?
They probably heard that
You're screaming
clunking-
up to the projectionist. You know,
Yeah.
are you hearing this?
Did you hear this?
Are you hearing this? Yeah. You wouldn't actually say that in real life, right? You know.
I know. But
the
it's
guy
an interesting
sits back,
contrast.
"Go
like
home, asshole!"
I'm trying to imagine another film where there was such a clunky line of dialogue just sticking out there, and it surrounded by such greatness. It's kind of hard to imagine. But anyway, it's fine. It's like
They could have done it without the dialogue. If she just gave a concerned look,
that
would have been way better.
Way better. Exactly. Totally would have been better. But whatever.
Yeah.
She was
They must-
probably
they must have-
guaranteed that line.
It must have been in the notes, being like, people are confused that she's wondering about Andy and where his head's at.
Yeah.
So you got to put this line of dialogue in so everyone
Andy, are you
understands
there?
it.
Yeah, he's right there. You just saw him.
That could be. That could be. That
I mean,
checks.
people listen to the screener audiences way too much. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They're idiots who don't know what genre they're watching. So they have everyone watching this movie has seen the other Alien movies.
Right.
People watching from the screener audience be like, I don't understand why, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, John's yawning. Okay, guys.
Sorry.
Next week.
Next week. What are we doing next week?
That's the timer right there,
That's
folks.
right. Ding, ding.
Next week, we're going back to the list.
Oh, okay.
Are we?
What do we got?
1975, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Jack Nicholson.
All right. I like that
Christopher
one.
Lloyd.
Yes.
Is
One of
Danny
my
DeVito
favorite.
in this one too? Danny DeVito is in this one. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's
A
some
young
good
Danny
memes
DeVito,
coming
huh?
out of that movie, you know? Good
Say again?
memes. There are
Oh,
good
good
memes
memes.
from this movie. So we will have fun in our tech group chat texting One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest memes.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that's a good one to watch. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, let's do it. Talk to you guys
All right,
next
All
week.
right.
See you next week.
Talk to you later.